So it was an interesting learning experience.
Yeah, and I think even towards the end of my time with Speedframe, one of the businesses or sections of Speedframe that was losing money was their foiling plant.
Right, yeah.
But what he recognised, but he just hadn't really got the sort of marketing perception of it, was people want colour.
Yeah.
But he had like 15 colours like tangerine orange and reds and stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas, now we've got the colours that the consumer wants.
Yeah.
But he saw that years before, maybe even a decade before colour became really prevalent in uPVC. Yeah. So again, you've got to think sometimes, I meet with suppliers all the time that tell me, well, we're only doing 2% of that. Yeah. So that means it's not popular. And sometimes you just need to put your balls out really and say, well, actually, let's create that demand.
Yeah, 100%.
With my time at CWG, Jason was a phenomenal production guy. Yeah. Probably the most experienced because nothing was a no. He made things work. So I remember in 2000 at GlassEx, we launched the first mass-produced PVC bifolding door. Yeah. The aluminium door wasn't a thing at the time. So there was no SEO for bifolding doors. Yeah. There was no one saying we need a bifolding door. Yeah. It was Ray Howe gave us a bag of bits. He made it, and then we put a five door one at GlassEx, and it was like a showstopper. We literally had queues of people. Yeah. But there was no demand for it. And then we had the whole logistical nightmare of delivering it and working out some SOPs on how we now deliver it and what the expectation is from the installer. But we had a vision for it. Now, that is a classic production-orientated business. Yeah. Whereas with a marketing-orientated, you would find out if there's demand, a need, price point, is that worth making? Can we make money out of it? Yeah. But he didn't. He just did it and created the market. Yeah. And I'm not saying that everyone followed suit, but he kind of did.
Yeah, well, sometimes, somebody's got to lead, somebody's got to create the demand. If it's a new product to market, somebody's got to take that lead and do it. And I think actually creating a category or creating demand for a product is a game changer. And it's not the first time you've done that.
No. So after Speedframe, I kind of knew I'd qualified in marketing. I wanted to get back into a little bit more mainstream trade supply. Yeah. Speedframe was being packaged up to sell. Yeah. So my job was kind of going to be redundant anyway because they didn't really want to pursue trade as it was. And I'd kind of helped set up the trade and build a depot concept. So I joined a relatively small company in comparison called Evolution. Yeah. And Evolution were a couple of years into their kind of timber alternative product. It was an Eclipse window. It was white wood grained. I know the challenge that Sergit and Richard had just trying to persuade somebody to foil a white profile with white wood grain because it wasn't a thing. Yeah. And why would someone pay 20 or 40% more for a product where you can't even see it until you're close up to it? And then they started challenging us on why are we doing mechanical joints? So we called them a timber style joint. Because guess what? We kind of redefined the casement window market with a product that sat between uPVC, mass-produced uPVC and timber. Yeah. And we created the first timber alternative casement window.
That was a whole product category.
Absolutely. And what I learned then was in a recession, which was the subprime mortgage recession, which was huge, and it was a global recession, I noticed companies that were doing really well with our Evolution in relative terms with a really expensive product that was twice the price of a normal PVC window, but it was packaged properly, it was marketed properly, and it was kept exclusive by authorised dealers.